Last weekend we had some beautiful weather and I decided it was the best time to tackle something that's been bothering me for over a year, which is our compost piles. So I originally built some compost piles in 2019 and I just used some leftover, they were like old fencing panels or something. They don't look like modern cattle panels, but it's that kind of a thing. So I use them to make some cylinders to just do a simple compost pile. So we had a place to put all of our garden waste and our kitchen waste and such. And I set those up and they were fine for a while, but it's been a couple years now. And now we have a couple of cylinders with large like hill of composted material around it. It just doesn't look very nice, and I had to start even another pile. Once I had chickens, I needed a place when I was doing cleanouts to dump the chicken manure and bedding and such. And you know, last year I was not in as good a condition as I am right now, and I was trying to keep things simple, so I just started a pile over near the chicken coop, and that one is even more unsightly. It's really gross, and I want them both cleaned up. It's time now to build something new for compost that's going to be a little more organized, something that we can actually turn regularly and work it better, and just keep everything a little neater and not quite so unsightly. But at the same time, I don't need it to be beautiful. It's literally holding a bunch of waste, and there's gonna be decomposing going on in there, and it doesn't need to be a pretty thing. And I'm trying not to spend too much money on it, if any at all, because we have a lot of projects to do this year. My daughter is getting married and the entire family is coming from around the country, and so we're going to host a family reunion after the wedding here on the property. And since everything stalled out over the last 2 years, we didn't get as much property work done as we expected to. So we have a ton to do, and there are things that we are going to have to invest some money in. So anywhere that I can save a few dollars, that's what I want to do. We've really kludged this thing together with scraps and pieces that we found all over the farm. It's actually being held together with like T-posts and zip ties. There are a few screws here and there, some garden stakes. We really pulling from the dregs of supplies that we have available here. But we did get something put together. It's a very simple 2-bay bin. It's definitely not a very pretty compost bin. You know, my husband and I grew up in the Midwest, and I think if there was a Midwest slang dictionary and you looked up the word janky, that you probably would see a photo of our compost bin. It's sturdy, it's standing, and it has to hold decomposing material. It doesn't have to be fancy. Martha Stewart doesn't live here. And if we have to rebuild it or replace parts in a couple of years, that's fine too. It meets a need that we have right now, and makes it, even though it's not a pretty compost bin, it will neaten up and tidy my compost areas and contain them in a way where we can actually access them to turn them and keep them working. The plan going forward is, once we clean up the existing compost piles, consolidate any material that's not decomposed yet into the new bins, and harvest what has already composted to amend the garden beds for this year. Then the plan after that is to extend these 2 bins to the left where the original compost pile is sitting, and make an additional 2 bins or 3, because I have another gate, so it's the same size, so probably another 2 bins. And I just need to find a couple more pallets somewhere to make those divisions. And then I feel with a 4-bin system that I might actually be able to start an intentional active composting system. I'm not super concerned about starting that this year. I really just want to get the bins built as we can so that I have a place to contain the stuff that I need to compost, in particular the clean outs for the chicken coops, because it's springtime and that is one of the next things coming up is coop clean out. But I just wanted to show, document the process of getting compost bins set up as part of our garden cleanup this year, and also to show that, you know, we didn't spend any money on this compost bin at all. We actually were able to find everything around the farm, and that's with a rather depleted boneyard of things to go to, because we've been doing that for projects all around the farm. And it really is possible to set up something that functions at least and is useful, and probably you could make it look a little neater than we did. But I just wanted to show that, you know, you really can pull things together for projects like this, and they don't have to be super pretty all the time. Save the pretty and the money investment for things that matter more.